Every second you waste scrolling, hesitating, avoiding, you're not just wasting time. You're stealing it from your future self. Let me ask you something. What did you do yesterday that actually mattered? If your brain just made a dial-up noise and pulled out a list of excuses, you're not alone. You're just in danger. Because you just lost 24 hours you'll never get back. The real difference between the 1% and everyone else, it's not money, it's not power, it's how they treat time. And by the end of this, you're gonna feel like time is chasing you with a knife. You're welcome. Jinwoo wasn't weak because of genetics. He was weak because he thought he had time. Spoiler, he didn't. Neither do you. You tell yourself you'll start next week, when things calm down, when you're more motivated, when Mercury's in retrograde and your chakras finally align. But deep down, you know the truth. You've been dragging the same goal from January into every month, like a sad, squeaky shopping cart. Worse, you believe your own excuses. You call it self-care. You call it burnout. But really, it's fear. Wrapped in comfort, dipped in Netflix. Here's the reality check you didn't ask for. The system didn't care about Jinwoo's past. It only counted action, seconds, decisions, execution. In psychology, this is called a locus of control. People with internal locus, they believe they're in charge. People with external locus, they blame everything. The moment you realize your outcomes aren't external, they're yours, that's when the shift begins. That was his turning point. Not power, ownership. He looked death in the eye and said, if I'm going out, it won't be running. It's like realizing you got 2% phone battery left, but instead of finding a charger, you open TikTok. That's most people's life strategy. You don't need motivation. You need to decide that excuses are over, that no one's coming, that you either move or drown. Here's your mission. Pick one thing you've been avoiding. Give it 30 focused minutes today, no matter how small. Not to win, just to move. Because the cave's flooding. Move or drown. The couch, deadlier than any monster. Soft, cozy, smells like betrayal. Comfort doesn't knock you out in one punch. It lulls you like a warm blanket made of dopamine and denial. You don't notice it stealing from you. You just wake up one day and realize your dream became a memory. You say, I'll start after this episode, this scroll, this snack. But comfort doesn't give you rest. It robs your future blind, then pats you on the back, like sand slipping through fingers you thought were closed. Charles Duhigg calls this the cue routine reward loop in The Power of Habit. The more you reward yourself with short-term pleasure, the deeper that groove cuts into your brain. You're not lazy, you're looped. And unless you break the loop, your life will become a highlight reel of almosts. Jinwoo grinding solo in silence. No crowd, no music, just him and the monsters. That wasn't for drama, that was for survival. He wasn't trying to look cool. He was trying to not die the next time it mattered. It's like waking up, checking your phone, and suddenly it's 3 p.m. You didn't black out from alcohol, you blacked out from comfort. And your dreams still stuck in drafts. Comfort is a poison in a golden cup. Looks relaxing. Kills slow. Jinwoo could have healed, waited, said, maybe I'm not ready. Instead, he picked up a blade and walked into the suffering. Because when you let comfort win, you shrink. But when you choose pain on purpose, you grow. In silence, without applause. Here's the pivot. Identify your biggest comfort trigger, the one that eats hours. Replace it with a 5-minute pain ritual. Sprint, cold shower, no notes journaling. Doesn't have to be massive. It just has to remind you, you're not here to be comfortable. You're here to build. The 1% don't manage time. They weaponize it. Most people treat time like it's unlimited, like a cheap buffet. They pile on half-baked plans, bad habits, and mental clutter, then wonder why they're tired, behind, and oddly obsessed with how to stop procrastinating videos. You say you don't have time, but scroll 4 hours a day without blinking. You're not short on time. You're just leaking it through distractions. In peak performance, researchers found elite performers schedule their energy, not just their tasks. They guard every hour like it's a heartbeat, because time isn't a clock, it's a sword. Dull it, it cuts nothing. Sharpen it, and it slices through chaos. The system doesn't care how tired he is. No therapist, no reset button, just a timer and consequences. His life becomes a game of seconds. He adapts fast, because in his world, hesitation equals death. You know who else lives like that? Surgeons, pilots, special forces. They don't wing it, they execute. Meanwhile, you're waiting on motivation, and they're already halfway through their checklist. Time is a blade edge. Sharpen it with intention, or swing it wildly and cut yourself. This is the split, where the 1% break away. They stop waiting to feel ready. They stop reacting. They build systems, rituals, routines. Their entire life become a battlefield strategy. Try this. Choose one sacred time block daily. Defend it like Jinwoo defends his life. Tie it to a cost. If you skip it, you'll lose something. Comfort, money, streaks, sleep. Because the 1% don't find time. They guard it like a weapon. Everyone gets 24 hours. Only a few act like it's life or death. Ever said, "I don't have time," while holding your phone like it owes you rent? Most people don't lack time. They lack urgency. They treat the day like a buffet, casually piling on junk tasks and calling it busy. Here's the truth bomb. You're not too busy. You're just disorganized and distracted. In HD, time isn't something you find. It's something you allocate with ruthless clarity, like a general deploying troops, not a teenager multitasking with 17 tabs and a playlist called Focus But Make It Sad. According to MIT studies, Milkman 2011, high performers create temporal landmarks, artificial urgency cues to force momentum. The 1% build urgency, even when no one's watching. He's not reacting. He's orchestrating chaos with precision. That's why he wins. Not because of power, because of structure. Ever met someone who runs a business, works out, journals, eats clean, and still texts back faster than you? Same 24 hours, different rules. Time is a chess clock. Every second you wait, someone else takes your move and your future. You don't need to get your life together. You need to lock one thing in. Make time sacred. Make your hours count, or someone else will count them for you. Tactical move. Track your daily non-negotiable time block with visible proof. Whiteboard, habit tracker, wall calendar, doesn't matter. If it's not tracked, it doesn't exist. And if it doesn't exist, it's already gone. Jinwoo didn't level up because he was special. He leveled up because he decided to stop waiting. You've been waiting. For motivation, for the mood, for a cleaner room, a better playlist, a new year, a new you. But while you wait, someone else became who you were supposed to be. You're out of excuses. That's the unlock. One decision, not tomorrow, not when the moon feels right, not when your vibe is 100%, now. In psychology, it's called the fresh start effect. We crave clean slates. But most people waste them, waiting for a sign. The 1%, they create the sign. No plan B. Not because he was ready, but because he was done waiting. He didn't have certainty. He had resolve. Think of a plane taking off. It uses 70% of its fuel just to leave the ground. But once it's airborne, it soars. Your life's been circling the runway. It's time to push the throttle. This isn't about motivation. It's about refusal. Refusing to live another day as someone you don't respect. And yeah, you might fail, but here's the thing. You're already failing by standing still. Do this before the day ends. Pick one thing you've been avoiding. Do it now. No planning, no after lunch, no vibe check. Just act. Because the 1%, they don't talk about change. They become it. One brutal, lonely, silent decision at a time. While you hesitate, someone else is acting. While you scroll, someone else is forging. While you wait for the perfect moment, they've already started living the life you only talk about. This moment is your fork in the road. The 1% aren't smarter. They're not more talented. They just decided that their future mattered more than their comfort. Choose one thing. Do it now. Because time, it isn't yours. It's just passing through.